Great to be back. Feeling better, a little stronger today than I was yesterday, which is a good thing. All right, getting our regular podcast put together here. Let's just go ahead and click over here at Murtec on Rumble. This is my Rumble channel here. This is the video. It says upcoming, but as you know, you are actually watching it. So let's go ahead and jump into that. Let me close out the live chat here and slide down and open the description box by clicking the Show More button, expanding that out. Okay, we have information here from Andrew Klavan, the real Adogg, McWattersaffect, and Wendy Bell Radio. But before we get into that, I do want to say that thank you so much, folks, for your comments and your well wishes. I certainly appreciate that, and I'm glad to be here and glad to give you the information that you've kind of missed for the past week. So let's go ahead and get into this with Andrew Klavan. I'm going to start out with his monologue, Stand Up, episode 1268. And then we're going to skip it up to about the 4-minute and 50-second mark and get into his information here about Stand Up. So let's get this started.
You know, between the rapid pace of news events these days and the ubiquitous proliferation of media outlets, it's very easy to get so overwhelmed with information that you lose your focus and let your mind drift to meaningless side issues like whether if you continually rewind the housemaid so you can watch the Sydney Sweeney sex scene over and over, it will somehow show up on the feed so your wife will find out when she goes to watch one of those movies she likes where none of the women even takes her shirt off. So what the hell's the point? I'm sorry. What was I talking about? Oh, yeah. You can lose your focus and not even realize that you don't understand the issues in play. So now and again, we here at the Daily Wire like to take a moment to try to explain to you some of the important subjects that we ourselves know absolutely nothing about. For instance, President Trump says the economy is doing great, but polls show that many people disagree. So today, we want to try to unpack the principles of economics so you can answer basic questions like who's right, who's wrong, how the hell should I know, and why can't you people just leave me alone? Economics is a science, like pinball or craps. The word comes from the Greek root omics, meaning something you read in the newspaper that is so ridiculous it makes you laugh. That's the same root that gives us words like comics and New York Times opinionomics. Now, here at the Andrew Klavan Show, we know that some people in our audience are functionally illiterate, but the rest of our audience can only aspire to being functionally illiterate. So in order to explain the principles of economics in the simplest possible way, we're going to take you through an ordinary day in the life of an economist. Ordinary economist Wolfgang Startle wakes up a little after 6 a.m. He opens the shades in time to see the sun cresting the eastern horizon. Oh my God, says Wolfgang Startle. What the hell is that? That's the sun coming up in the morning, says Mrs. Startle. Wow, says Wolfgang. That's surprising. Yesterday, I predicted that artificial intelligence would cause the moon to turn to blood while the sun refused to shine. So this development is very unexpected. Soon after, Mrs. Startle puts breakfast on the table. Whoa, cries Wolfgang Startle. Are those fried eggs? I did not see that coming. But I make you fried eggs every morning, says Mrs. Startle. Yes, says Wolfgang, but last week I predicted that Donald Trump's tariffs would drive the price of eggs up way beyond what we can afford, so this is completely unexpected. An hour later, Wolfgang Startle arrives at work at the Wall Street Journal, where he's greeted by his editor, Hyman Panic. I'm sorry, Wolfgang, Panic says, I'm going to have to let you go, because every single prediction you make turns out to be wrong. Well, this comes totally out of the blue for me, says Wolfgang Startle. I predicted that Trump's anti-immigration policies would cause a minor rise in unemployment for some reason, but now my unemployment is unexpectedly at 100%. And just wait till you see how startled Wolfgang Startle is when he gets home because he did not predict that Mrs. Startle would unexpectedly run off with the guy who writes the horoscope pages for the New York Post after she discovered that his predictions were more accurate than Wolfgang's, so he still has a job. I hope this glimpse into the daily life of an economist has given you a better sense of whether you should believe Donald Trump when he says the economy is great, or your wife when she tells you she had to sell the kids for rent money. The important thing to remember is whether you vote for Trump's Republicans or for the people who want to reduce the America they despise to dust while destroying every vestige of our prosperity and freedom, you can never be totally sure about the future unless you read the horoscope page in the New York Post. Trigger warning, I'm Andrew Klavan, and this is The Andrew Klavan Show.
All right, well, I'm glad he cleared that up for me because I had some concerns about that. Okay, let's get up here.
Episode Stand Up. So, for the past several weeks, we've been talking about this great transition, and it's a period that we're in when the baby boomers are dying off and new technology is coming in and everything is going to change. And the question is whether a new generation that's been schooled in ignorance and to hate liberty and freedom by our corrupt leftist academies and the news media and the entertainment industry, are they going to have what it takes to move into a future that bears some resemblance to our founding values? That's basically Edmund Burke's definition of conservatism, is that things change. Nothing stays the same, but you change in keeping with your traditions, right? And our traditions are traditions of ordered liberty. So we don't know whether that's going to happen or whether America is going to surrender itself to one of the twin authoritarian ideas. One is leftism, socialism, communism, whatever they call it. It's all the same thing. That's represented by the Democrat Party, or fascism, which is represented by hateful, despicable little crapmongers like Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens. And we don't know if it's going to go that way or if it's going to stay America, which is what we're hoping. At least I'm hoping. So there were a lot of developments this week that spoke into this essential question. One of them was the State of the Union, which I'll talk about, I hope, in a different way than everybody's been talking about it, because I saw it differently. And I think that there was an agenda underlying the State of the Union, Donald Trump's State of the Union, because very quickly he got into speech, the longest State of the Union ever made, but very quickly he said this is cut one.
We're winning so much that we really don't know what to do about it. Please, 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 Mr. President, we can't take it anymore.
I feel pretty, oh so pretty. I feel pretty and witty and gay.
You're going to win big. You're going to win bigger than ever.
Now, listen, I understand that Trump speechwriters are pressed for time and they have to get their material from somewhere. And just because I stop playing the Trump happiness montage doesn't mean they can just plagiarize my work, right? And I just started to phase out this running gag. We're all getting tired of it. And I think this is an obvious attempt by the administration to get me to play the Trump happiness montage 2.0 over and over again. And I just want to tell you right up front, this is something that I will never do.
We're winning so much that we really don't know what to do about it. Please, 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 Mr. President, we can't take it anymore.
I feel pretty, oh so pretty. I feel pretty and witty and gay.
You're going to win big. You're going to win bigger than ever.
So let's be honest.
Okay, well, there you have it, folks. Now we've got the Trump Happiness Montage 2.0. So I'm glad he pulled that together for us. And I don't recall seeing that exactly in the State of the Union address, but it was probably there. I mean, I didn't watch every minute of it. I wasn't focused on it. But this being said, I'm just like 8 minutes into this hour video, so I will include this in my daily news wrap-up. Let me click on this Rumble link here and show you that this video does come from Andrew Klavan. I am following his channel. I've given him a thumbs up. I hope you do the same thing for me. All right, let's jump back here and slide down here. And let's see what we have to see from the real Adogg. Now sometimes he goes off on a tangent with the titles of his videos. OMG, he's dead. I think we know what he's talking about there. You won't believe what just happened to Trump. Okay, he's got some great information, but I don't think that he has anything spectacular that has happened to Donald Trump, but let's listen to his great stuff.
All right, y'all, we are back with another video. I definitely had to bring y'all this. President Trump just dropped a major statement that Ayatollah is now deceased. Iran's supreme leader is gone. And you got Iranians that have stormed the street. They is extremely happy. And then even more reports came out saying that they did find his body and that he is deceased. The supreme leader of Iran. And guess who's mad? The Democrats. It's always the Democrats. I say this a lot, that no matter what President Trump do, no matter what this man say, even though they know what he's doing is right, they got to find a way to just go against him, all because they don't like him. So you got Democrats, they got a problem with this, but yet you got Iranians that storming the street happy. And that's another reason why these Democrats are mad, because Iranians are not upset. They is extremely happy. We about to dive straight into it. Please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Shout out to everybody showing so much support. And shout out to the one that always watching the entire video. I appreciate all of you. So, not gonna hold y'all up. Let's go ahead and dive straight into this. You can see by Eric Dye said, holy smokes. President Trump drops major statement that Ayatollah is dead. The bombing will continue until the regime is fully toppled. So if you see right here by President Trump, this is what he posted on True Social. He said, Khamenei, one of the most evil people in history, is dead. This is not only justice for the people of Iran, but for all great Americans and those people from many countries throughout the world that have been killed or mutilated by Khamenei. I guess I'm saying this right, his name right, or we'll say Ayatollah. And his gang of bloodthirsty thugs. He was unable to avoid our intelligence and highly sophisticated tracking systems, and working closely with Israel. There are not a thing he or the other leaders that have been taken out along with him could do. This is the single greatest chance for the Iranian people to take back their country. We are hearing that many of the IRGC military and other security and police forces no longer want to fight and are looking for immunity from us. As I said last night, now they can have immunity. Later, they only get death. Hopefully, the IRGC and police will peacefully merge with the Iranian patriots and work together as a unit to bring back the country to the greatness it deserves. The process should soon be starting in that. Not only the death of Ayatollah, but the country have been in only one day very much destroyed and even obliterated. The heavy and pinpoint bombing, however, will continue uninterrupted throughout the week or as long as necessary to achieve our objective of peace throughout the Middle East and indeed the world. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. So that's President Trump pretty much confirming, that Ayatollah is dead. This guy right here, their supreme leader of Iran, is deceased. And President Trump is not playing around at all. But like I said before, you see Democrats, they are freaking pissed off. We'll check out, see what Dan Bongino had to say. He said Dan Bongino eviscerates the doomers and panickers on Iran.
24 hours. It's happened at 3 a.m. It's not 3 a.m. Eastern time. Can you give the man a chance to cook a little bit? I mean, he just deposed and decapitated the entire upper level infrastructure of the Iranian death to America regime. Maybe give the guy 5 minutes before you're already crapping on everything he did. I mean, who else has been able to do this? If it doesn't work out over time, there'll be a bunch of papers and a bunch of talking heads, I'm sure, who will rip it apart. It's been 24 hours. Give the guy a chance. Where's he been proven wrong in the past? I thought World War III was going to break out after the Abraham Accords and after he moved the embassy and after he got Maduro. None of that happened. Give the guy a chance. He knows what he's doing. He's surrounded himself with more than competent people. Give it a chance. It's not even been 24 hours yet.
And that's the thing. And like I said, these Democrats are freaking pissed off. And that's the thing. Now, look how the Iranians, look at this. While seeds of pro-Trump Iran strikes, demonstrators have flooded the streets of Washington, D.C. Look at this. Look how happy they are. You see, they celebrating, they happy. But yet you got, like I said before, Democrats, the ones that is pissed off and stuff like that, which don't make no sense. Like you can see like how mad these people are. And this guy right here in New York, and he pissed off. And like I said, you can see, like I said, these people are dancing, they are clapping. Look at this. They happy about it. Just look at this. But yet Democrats is the one that's mad. But the Iranian people are happy about it. Look at this. Like, this is everywhere, y'all. Look at this. Wow. Wow. Look at that. Holy smoke. It's truly whereby Iranians have flocked to the streets in Italy, rejoicing that President Trump and Israel have taken out Ayatollah. Look what Trump started and is finishing. Strength on the world stage. This man right here has kept all his promises, man, and it just keep going on.
President Trump, thank you.
Listen to what he said. President Trump, thank you.
President Trump, thank you. Thank you. Trump, thank you. Trump, thank you.
Look at that. Trump, thank you. And it goes on. And we're going to get to these Democrats crying and stuff. I'm just showing y'all how happy the Iranians is. Look at this. New hundreds of Iranians stormed the streets and cheered for President Trump and Israel eliminating Ayatollah. Incredible. This is what happened when you try to cross Trump. Now the people can be in charge. They throwing parties. They happy. Wow. Wow. And they don't like it at all. Look at this.
Dear Donald Trump, we love you. Every single Iranian right now loves you and wants to kiss you. We're going home. We're going home.
Look at this. So like I said, at the end of the day, why are the Democrats so mad? Why? Just then, Tim Burton dropped straight fire. He's pretty much saying like exactly what happened. And we ain't even got to get into it because you see where they're eliminated. Just then.
And, I just want to jump in here. And it just seems, for the past 13 months, okay, that the things that Donald Trump does, I mean, some of them are like, wow, like this situation here with Iran. But the thing is, when he does it, there's so much approval across the board, except, of course, for the Democrats. Now, you would think that they would kind of tone it down just a little bit, because Donald Trump does things, but I think that he only does things that are going to be in a positive light as a result of what he does. So you would think that Democrats, I mean, they've held power for many years. They've corrupted the government for many decades. They're not stupid, but yet it must be the Trump derangement syndrome that's got him to the point that it's like, whatever he does, we've got to go against it. Well, what if it's a good thing? It doesn't matter. We cannot let him have a win. Unfortunately, he's continuing to have wins, regardless of how much they push back and how much they fight him. And that just keeps going. Now, I've got this stopped here, and I've been thinking about this for actually quite some time. I haven't actually mentioned it to you, but Donald Trump, when he became president in 2016, and this is amazing when you think about it, he was the first, that was the first White House that was held by Republicans that didn't contain either a Nixon or a Bush since 1933. Can you believe that? When Donald Trump took office in 2016, that was the first Republican-held White House that did not contain a Nixon or a Bush. Let's just go back and take a look at it, just a few minutes here, because it's, when I first heard this, which was a long time ago, it amazed me. Herbert Hoover was the president in 1932. Franklin Delano Roosevelt won the presidency in 1932 and took office in 1933. Okay? And he won 4 terms. And that then Truman, after FDR died, Truman became president and Truman got elected. Of course, I'm sure that was a scam, simply because of the way the newspapers wrote that he had lost. But amazingly, the next day, after all the votes were counted again, he won. Truman won. So then he was president until 1952. Well, actually 53. But then General Eisenhower became president in 1953, and Richard Nixon was his vice president. Okay, he served 2 terms. Nixon ran for president, didn't work out for him. So then Kennedy, and then Johnson, and then Nixon ran for president in 1968 and won that. So Nixon was the vice president. The Republicans were in the White House. And from 52 to 60, or 53 to 61, whatever. Then Nixon became president in 68, and of course he resigned, but he was, in the presidency until Jimmy Carter won in 76. Then in 1980, Ronald Reagan won with Bush as his vice president. Okay, he got reelected in 84, Bush is vice president. Then Bush was elected president in, 1988. So there we have Nixon and Bush. Bush was president in 1988. And then, of course, good old Hillary's husband. Yeah, he became president. And then in, 2000, then George Jr. Bush became president for the next 8 years. So as far as the White House is concerned, with the Republican in the White House, only Donald Trump was the only presidency since the 1930s that didn't contain a Nixon or a Bush in the White House. I mean, that is just so phenomenal. Okay? So I just wanted to throw that out there. And let me throw one other thing out there, folks. I need for you people to chat with me, okay? Can you give me some chats? I would greatly appreciate that. Okay, I got 16 people watching right now. If you could chat it up for me a little bit, that would be fantastic. Okay, I'm going to play a little bit more of this, and then we're going to move on to McWattersaffect.
Incredible moment as an Iranian woman breaks down sob in tears of joy for President Trump and Israel taking out Ayatollah. Look what Donald J. Trump just brought to the world. Look at this. Wow. And y'all see, she's crying. Iranian woman breaks down sobbing tears of joy. And so then you wonder to yourself, why is the Democrats so mad? And look, and then, coming from CNN, breaking, CNN is even stunned as they report a surge in support for President Trump in Los Angeles after Ayatollah was taken out. People jumping and crying. Look at this.
There behind her. Julia, how is the Iranian community responding?
Well, this gathering has only grown, Jessica, over the past few hours, since we've gotten here. It has amassed a large number of people, and the celebration is striking. We got here just moments after initial rumors of the death of Ayatollah Khamenei had just started to trickle from Iran to this diaspora community, and people were jumping in excitement, hugging each other, crying, saying that basically they've been waiting 47 years for this very day, Jessica. It is the reason so many of them have come out here today. I want you to hear from one of them specifically, his thoughts right after learning that the supreme leader of Iran was dead.
When is the last time you saw people in Israel and Iran dancing on the streets in excitement? And when is the last time you've ever heard of a country coming out and dancing because they're excited that foreign powers are attacking them?
Now, the name of Reza Pahlavi has been at the tip of people's tongues here, Jessica. So these are very much people who are pro-Shah. They want to see a leadership emerge from Reza Pahlavi. They're calling for him to take over the reins, and their hope, they've told me, is that he would then lead a temporary government and hold elections in Iran, hold a referendum in Iran so that the people could decide what would come next for their nation.
Yeah,
you go
so
right
many
there.
Iranian people hoping for a regime change and that they can take back their government. A lot of questions about how that will happen, if it can happen. Julia Vargas-Jones.
And that's the thing. See, even CNN, they be upset that they got a report that they was looking for the Iranians to be pissed off, mad at President Trump. But that's not the case. And so since that's not happening, now the Democrats got to act like they mad. You know what I'm saying? So it just don't make any sense at all, for that. Look at that. Demonstrators have surged to the Trump White House in support of President Trump and Israel toppling the Iranian regime. While a white liberal shouts out Trump is a number more lies. Just don't make any sense at all. And that's what they're going to continue to do. Look at this. They even busting out the Trump dance. Iranians are doing the Trump YMCA dance now that Ayatollah is taken out. Look how happy they are. So now they happy. Look at this. Look how happy the Iranians is. Look how happy they are. I mean, just jumping for joy. I'm telling y'all, seeing it these Democrats didn't want to see this. They wanted to see the Iranians get pissed off at President Trump, say all type of bad stuff about it, because they would have been ready to report on that. But now they don't want to. This is not what they was wanting. They want retaliation. They want this. Look at this. Muslims are yelling Allah Akbar through the streets of Washington, D.C., holding no war signs. Too bad they're too preoccupied to notice. But the Ayatollah is already taken out and the regime is decapitated. So like I said, you're going to get these liberals. They're going to get mad and stuff like that and start crying. So we already know for a fact that right there is going to happen. We already know that right there is going to happen. So we check out these deranged liberals, these Democrats, they are mad. Look at what...
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pause that there. Let me show you that this video does come from the real Adogg. I am subscribed to his channel. I've given him a thumbs up. I hope you do the same thing for me. All right, I want to jump back here to, okay, this is the 1st of March already. We're in March. Amazing. Okay, 2 months under our belt. And this is my creator program statistics so far for March. I need 30 hours streamed in Rumble Studio. I've got 12. Total unique chatters, I need 20. So far I've got 3. So folks, give me a chat, give me a thumbs up, give me a hi, give me a bye, give me a whatever. Just put something in that chat box. I'd greatly appreciate it. I've reached my level here for Rumble Premium exclusive hours. I needed 5. I've got 6.1. Okay, hours watched this month. I need 200. Right now I've got 174. And total unique raids. So far, 5 is what I need, and I've gotten 3. So, what I need from you folks, other than you're watching me, is for you to chat with me, okay? Right now I've got 18 people on Rumble watching. So if I can get a few of you to just chat with me a little bit, that would be fantastic. Okay. With that being said, let's move on here and see what McWattersaffect has to say in regards to Detroit 2020 exposed 155,000 ballots under review, irregularities mount. Let's check it out. More fraud. The more fraud that is uncovered, the better. Here again, it's another situation where Donald Trump, people don't want fraud, even the Democrats. There's like a 64% approval rating in Democrats to eliminate the fraud in the elections. But then the Democrats in the House and in the Senate, oh no, fraud, we can't stop fraud. We've got to keep fraud going. Give me a half a frickin' break. All right, let's see what they have to say here.
Supposedly voting. They voting there and they register. They using them for 2 things. They using some of them to inflate the voter rolls, because when they get the voter list, they got to get a percentage out of somewhere. So if they're gonna say 50% of people voted, they need 100% of whatever number.
So there's houses all over the city.
Over this city.
There might be 6 or 7 or 10 people that supposedly live there that are voting.
Multiple houses in this city
that are empty.
Like that. I'm like, when I say voter trap houses through here, I know where multiple ones are at, and I know how many voters is there that's not
registered to those houses.
This ain't no isolated incident with one house. No. It's multiple houses in Detroit. That's why we coined them voter trap houses here.
I've never heard of this before.
Yeah, and most people ain't, because we took the term from an urban term. So when people say trap houses, we only saying that these houses got voters that's registered there, and the voters don't know that they registered there. Mm-hmm. And the people who own a house and live there don't know these voters registered there. The only people know is the Secretary of State and Election Department.
Now, that dude's a patriot. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. And today we're going to be talking about the elections in Michigan and how more information is coming out about the ballots that were mail-in ballots and also what's going on with the envelopes. Some weird stuff, guys. They're investigating it and they're finding out a lot of different information, and it'll blow your mind what's going on and what they decide to actually count during the 2020 election.
Yeah, there's a ton of information we have for you guys in this video that you haven't seen before, so stick with us. This is eye-opening. We would very much appreciate if you'd subscribe, if you'd like, and you'd share this out to everyone.
Now, in this first video, we have Steve Bannon talking to Patty McMurray. She is doing the investigation in Michigan, and she's going to be talking about the mail-in ballots there. Let's go ahead and take a look at this video.
Because people kind of forget about Michigan and Wisconsin. They're two festering sores, and not just Georgia, Arizona, and Pennsylvania. It's Michigan and Wisconsin. Or hell, they're trying to throw Troupas. They got him up for 11 felonies, trying to put him and Judge Troupas in jail for 75 years. Patty Murray, talk to me about Michigan.
Yeah, so I think you saw the report that came out yesterday on the Gateway Pundit. We have a team of leading election integrity experts who are working on pouring through almost 1 million documents that were FOIA'd by Yehuda Miller. Actually, the FOIA was rejected and he had to sue the city of Detroit for the documents. So we have all the documents, we have all the ballot envelopes, absentee ballot envelopes, the applications. We have all the ballots, the tapes. We have everything from the 2020 election.
I'm hoping Patty McMurray gives this to DOJ as well, this information in their investigation, because they'll add on to their investigation that's going on with those machines they got from Puerto Rico and everything they got from Georgia as well, so they could actually have a good case about why the 2020 election was stolen and how they did it with foreign interference, and also the Democrats forcibly, in my opinion, because of COVID, putting mail-in ballots and send them out to everybody.
In Detroit, which nobody thought we would ever get. The findings that we're making are just incredible. We have over, right now, 100, and we have 200 volunteers signed up to pour through these documents. What you're looking at on the screen is an absentee ballot envelope. And what's important to note about this is that on the right where it says sign here, a ballot cannot be counted unless that's signed. It doesn't have to be dated, but it has to be signed. This particular envelope is not signed. And to the left of that is an area where the official city clerk stamp should go that shows when this envelope was received. It's also missing that. Underneath, in the for clerk's use only section, you can see that a ballot number was assigned to this voter. We have redacted his name. We have the name and we know who it is. We've looked.
The spot she's talking about is right here where you see 0052.
Yep, that's a voter number right there.
It up, and that absentee ballot was indeed counted. So no name or no signature, which is required in order for the ballot to be counted. It says clearly on the envelope it needs to be signed, and no official stamp of when the ballot was could have been received the day after the election. We don't know. We do know, because of the Gateway Pundit reporting, that a white van did deliver tens of thousands of ballots to the TCF Center in Detroit the morning after the election. So who knows? This could have been part of that dump. But what I can tell you is that we're finding a lot just with the ballot envelope investigation that we've done so far. The things that we're finding are just crazy.
You could plainly see in red lettering, unless this is signed, it won't be accepted. It's not a ballot. It's not a vote. And they ignored all of that. They counted everything that they could count, and most of it was garbage. It wasn't even real. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's more evidence. It's more about the ballot than it is about the voter. Now we're going to go to the next video where Patty McMurray right there was talking about that van that showed up to drop off a bunch of ballots. We got the video showing that. Let's go ahead and take a look at it.
And she was working inside the TCF that morning. So we put in a request to get this video. It took months, and we got this at Gateway Pundit. We put this up on on our site. We tweeted about it, and that's when we lost our Twitter account, by the way, by putting up this video. There's a lead car, an escort car that comes in. You can see here each time he hands something to the people inside, and then this van drives in, and they actually came in twice. Now, we had local media, one of the top reporters there, I'm not going to mention his name. He said that this never happened. He was there all night. There was no fraud. Nothing happened. So now we have the video of that. What's interesting about this, though, and that's why we included it today, is, for one, it'd be wonderful to have some ping data on who these people are driving the escort car, because we found out later this escort car was from
I was just thinking that.
a Pennsylvania license. So it's a rental car, we believe. But what we found from Patty's group, the Michigan group, is they counted the drop box ballots the last couple days, and there was only about 1,400 in the area that were dropped off the last 2 days, the ones that they counted.
They've actually watched every drop box and counted the ballots for every single person that dropped a ballot in Detroit. So they counted the ballots. And that's about the number that they came up with, around 1,340.
Yeah, 1,400. And then when these were dropped off and they got caught, they came out and said, well, it was just 16,000 ballots. So we're not sure where they got these. This was 8 hours after the everything was shut down. You're supposed to have your ballots in at 8 p.m. 8 hours later, they bring this inside the TCF, a big, huge drop. And we know now they came in twice with 60 boxes of ballots the first time, another 13 or 12 or 13 the second time. And they're telling us, that they had 16,000. We're wondering, because of the work this group in Michigan has done, where'd those ballots come from? We have no idea.
There are so many different things going on here. It's mind-blowing. First of all, the number of ballots could be 100,000. I mean, we don't know. Obviously, in each one of those boxes on the pallet are loaded with nothing but ballots. Other things. What strikes me right away is the pace car has a Pennsylvania plate, right? Well, what happened in Pennsylvania? That truck, that kid that testified that he drove a bunch of ballots from New York to Pennsylvania. Then we got a Pennsylvania, chase car, and USPS delivering all these ballots after the polls have closed, after the time that it is acceptable to turn in ballots. No wonder why they wanted to cover up the windows, and they didn't want anyone to see anything. They didn't want anyone to see who was working in there. They were cheating so hardcore in so many different areas. Only in a deep blue city like Detroit or Philly or Chicago can you get away with this type of nonsense. Well, that's how it used to be anyway. But it seems now you can get away with it in Fulton County and pretty much everywhere else that Democrats are in control.
Well, the most interesting thing for me is, and how I know they're liars and there was actually fraud going on, is first they said this never happened. And then they got caught because of all the video that came out. And they're like, okay, it happened, but it's only 16,000. And, so they changed their story. So that tells you they're lying. And that also tells you that they're committing fraud. And that's the reason they have to lie, because they know they'll go to jail if they don't. But we got another video for you guys. And in this one, this is a poll worker talking about the poll book and how it doesn't match. Let's go ahead and take a look at this video.
Representative Steve Johnson. Thank you, Mr. Chair. So obviously these allegations are very troubling. This is my question here. If these ballots were run through multiple times, as you've alleged, and then you said possibly up to 30,000 times, definitely thousands of times being counted. When we examine the poll book and see who voted, and we count those numbers,
yes,
would they then not line up with the total number of votes coming out of Detroit?
Later. The poll book is completely off.
Off by 30,000?
I'd say that poll book is off by over 100,000. That poll book. Why don't you look at the registered voters on there? How many registered voters are on there? Do you even know the answer to that?
No, I guess I'm trying to get to the bottom
Zero.
of this here.
Zero. There's zero.
So my question then is, if the
Guess how many? Wait. What about the turnout rate? 120%.
I don't even quite know how to react to that information right there. Zero registered voters in the poll book, except for the turnout rate was 120%. I mean, I was never that good at math, but something seems amiss to me.
But the poll book information there is interesting because it kind of reminds me of Georgia, because the poll books wouldn't match, So what they had to do was actually, by what we know now, is they had to add votes to make sure it match, And I think that's exactly what they did here. And what they did was they went in there and scanned more ballots that they already scanned before, just like Georgia did.
Yep.
Except Georgia got caught because they had cameras inside there actually catching them, scanning them. So I think that's why they actually had to put the damn stuff over the damn windows to actually so people couldn't see that they were scanning ballots more than once.
Right, over and over and over, the same batches. It would have been plainly evident that that's what they were doing, that no one was grabbing the pallets and moving them and giving them a fresh pallet. They were just rerunning stuff. Well, they didn't get away with it in Michigan either. They're finally busted too.
Yeah. So there's going to be more investigations going on in these other states as well. In my opinion, Michigan and Georgia, if you flip those two, Trump actually wins. I'm pretty sure. I think you might need one more, maybe. And that's going to be Arizona, definitely. But Wisconsin, too. You have Pennsylvania. I don't think they're going to investigate Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is a little difficult because they did a better job actually hiding it. But they're going to do some more investigation, I'm sure, when it comes to the rest of the states. But, guys, we want to know what y'all think about this. Comment down in the bottom. Don't forget, hit that like button and share this out there.
Thanks for being here.
All right, folks, there you have it.
What I find...
Oh, jumped into a different video here. Let me see. There we go. Let me
supposedly vote.
Click on the Rumble link here and show you that this video does come from McWattersaffect. I am following the channel. I've given him a thumbs up. I hope you do the same thing for me. And it's, folks, we knew this. I mean, I shared this information out with you back in 2021, at the end of 2020. We knew this. It's mind-boggling to me that it has taken 5 years to get this information out. 6 years, almost 6 years to get this information out. It's unbelievable. The corruption, the fraud in Washington, D.C. in politics is unbelievable. Donald Trump wants to get that Save America Act passed. But then again, John Thune, the leader of the Senate, Republican leader of the Senate, has to actually bring it to the freaking floor so people can vote on it. Oh, well, we've got some other things here that, we have to work into. Like there's a housing bill and, I don't know, somebody has to water the plants and, there's all kinds of stuff. We're just so freaking busy here. We can't get this Save America Act on the floor so that we can prevent the freaking fraud that's going on all the time. That's the Republican Senate leader. Okay? Which he was sucking Mitch McConnell's ass all the time while Mitch McConnell was the Republican Senate leader. He was sucking his ass. I'm not sure what kind of corruption he would be involved in, but I cannot understand it's beyond me why a Republican would not want to make sure that the Democrats do not cheat in the voting. Really? You're a Republican, and you're not pushing as hard as you frickin' can to prevent Democrats from cheating in the elections. Really? I don't get it. Okay, well, there you have it, folks, and I'm glad I got that off my chest. Let me jump back here. Okay, and close this out. We've got some good chats here from LNC and Deb rant. And I apologize for the audio kind of screwing up here, but I've got a good example here on Wendy Bell, Weekends with Wendy, that I'm going to share with you here. And we're going to do a little comparison about her broadcasts and, what happens to my broadcasts once in a while. But let's get going here. Okay. All right. Hang on. The audio is not coming through again.
Was live.
Good morning. What a day, Brock. What a day to wake up and be alive and pay attention.
No
to what's going on.
napalm in the morning.
It's wait, excuse me, you guys. Hold on. Yeah, we're just getting this in right now. Okay. This
Salam
is
alaikum,
moments
bitches.
ago.
This is
Yep.
your.
Moments
go ahead.
ago in the White House, in the Oval Office, President Trump addressing the world.
Salam alaikum, bitches. This is your new Supreme Leader speaking. Well, I warned Ali this would happen, and he just kept talking trash like we couldn't Maduro his old ass. Anyway, enjoy your new freedom, people. We're going to have bikini parties, all-you-can-eat buffets, dancing to country music, and singing karaoke all night long. We're going to have the best fiestas with delicious margaritas and sexy mamacitas. If you're a woman, you can finally take off that ridiculous bedsheet these idiots made you wear. You're free to be smart and beautiful and to wear whatever you want. Under my regime, you can now vote, as long as you vote Republican. If you think about it, you can only...
Ooh.
Oh, it's up.
If you think about it.
Okay, now, I just had a problem with the audio, and here I'm going back to this is in my world the definition of insanity, because I keep doing the same thing over and over again, and I get different results. I mean, I start the video, and for some reason the audio doesn't come through. Now, they're trying to play this video here from I don't know who the hell made it. This isn't Donald Trump. But, and they're having a problem with the audio. So, okay, Brock has got like 25 years experience in producing radio and videos and things of that nature. So, is it him that's causing the issue? Or is it possibly Rumble? And I'm not holding anything against Rumble because they are getting hammered daily very hard because they promote the truth. So let me go ahead and continue with this.
Uh-oh. You're being blocked. It was a great skit, though. It's a great meme. We'll see if we can reload it.
What's it?
I don't know. Something doesn't like you. Anyway, so yeah, I was out and about yesterday, and I was out and actually in the yard, and I wasn't even paying attention. I didn't have my phone. I wasn't watching anything. And then we were in the Strip District, which is this cool, like, downtown shopping area. And a man came up to me and he's like, "I love your show. Thank you so much. What do you think about them taking out Khomeini?" And I was like, "I'm sorry." And to come home and just be like, and Trump has done it again. He's forced Democrats to choose the wrong side. He's forced Democrats to go on the side of terror and world terror. And it's like, I don't know how many more bad decisions and bad alignments the left can come up with. This is the worst, right? Now, maybe if they were like if they were like, I'm all about pedophiles, let's go, then I'd be like, okay, that's the worst. But this, pretty interesting, Brock.
Yeah, we were talking right before we went on. I'm like, well, I wonder how they're gonna, they're gonna install some cleric, and he's the new leader, and you wonder how the people will take back. The people can actually take back, and you said, yeah, it's sort of like you just want to say, okay, everybody's running in Congress, start from fresh.
Yep.
But how do you do? Like, my thing is, how do you do that without actually having regime change? Like,
Well,
how
it's
do
up to
you
the
stop?
people. It's up to the Iranian people. It's up to the American people. It's up to the American people. We're watching our own kind of terror. I mean, it's not by any stretch comparable, but we've been terrorized by our own government, by our own deep state, by the Mitch McConnells and the Lisa Murkowskis and the Tom Tillises and the John Curtises and these people who are keeping us in this never-ending limbo of no progress and all excuses and obfuscation and it's this should be an awakening to everybody in their individual countries. It's we the people. You assholes serve us. And we don't have that. Brock, try to play it again. I really want to see it. You got to try to play it again.
Let me see if I can play it
I know. Yes, you guys know it's a live show when it all goes fudgy.
It just stopped.
Yeah,
My
I know.
internet's fine. I don't know
We'll
what.
see if we can pull it off again because it's really funny.
Here we go.
All right, let's try it.
I just like playing that.
Salam alaikum, bitches. This is your new Supreme Leader speaking. Well, I warned Ali this would happen, and he just kept talking trash like we couldn't Maduro his old ass. Anyway, enjoy your new freedom, people. We're going to have bikini parties, all-you-can-eat buffets, dancing to country music, and singing karaoke all night long. We're going to have the best fiestas with delicious margaritas and sexy mamacitas. If you're a woman, you can finally take off that ridiculous bedsheet these idiots made you wear. You're free to be smart and beautiful and to wear whatever you want. Under my regime, you can now vote as long as you vote Republican. If you think about it, you can only vote Republican because there will be no Democrat Party here. Everything they touch turns to shit, believe me.
Oh, that's funny.
And I just think it's hilarious.
And the internet wins again.
The responses of just the people on the street. You saw like from Boston to England to Australia to, Israel, even the celebrations. And what I love is, you know what a king does? You know what a dictator does? They put in their own people. They put themselves in. Trump said to Venezuela, we're going to get rid of this cat. You guys got to figure out how you're going to take charge of your lives. Venezuela used to be this beautiful country, and it went to hell in a handbasket because of shitty leadership. Hey, people of Iran, this is time for you. This regime that created Hezbollah and Hamas and the Houthis and all of these extraneous scumbags who run around the world killing people. Enough. It's time for you to take your country back. So let's see what you do. And it's the people on the street who just can cry and celebrate. And then you have the Democrats like Mark Kelly, who's like, this is a violation of the War Powers Act. And I'm like,
Which it's not.
It's not. In fact, Brock, I found a guy, and I want to send him to you because maybe we can plug him in. Let's see if I can find him. Yeah, this is the guy.
And what who defends this and what who says this is wrong? It's world leaders. You have the people in New Times Square protesting in support of this guy who, if they lived in Iran, they'd either be eliminated or jailed.
Think about it. How tolerant are they about gay people? Not. How tolerant are they about, women? Not. How tolerant are they about anything that's different than their ideology? Not. It's ridiculous. And then you have white, college-educated liberal chicks holding up signs, and you're like, oh my God. So apparently Neville Singham is funding all of these like this new counter protest against Trump for this. Okay. Good luck with that. I love this guy in shades who tells us about the War Powers Act. He's like, for everybody who wants to talk about that, you probably don't.
Okay, let me see if this works. And play.
Let's see what happens.
One of the dumbest arguments you can be making is that President Trump is making an unconstitutional and authorizing a legal war against Iran. Check out the 1973 War Powers Act. It clearly allows the president to initiate military action even without a congressional authorization of war. In fact, the last time Congress even declared war was in 1942, but we as the United States have fought dozens of wars since 1942, even without congressional authorizations of war. This includes Korea in 1950, Bay of Pigs in 61, Vietnam in 64, Cambodia in 1970, Lebanon in 82, Grenada in 83, Panama in 89, Iraq in 91, Somalia in 93, Bosnia in 95, Kosovo in 99, Afghanistan in 2001, Libya in 2011, Syria in 2014, Yemen in 2015. In fact, during his presidency, it was Obama who authorized U.S. airstrikes in 7 different countries, even without congressional authorization: Afghanistan, Iraq, Libya, Pakistan, Somalia, Syria, and Yemen. President Trump doesn't require congressional approval to conduct military strikes in Iran because he has what's called Article 2 of the U.S. Constitution, which shows that as commander-in-chief of the U.S. military, he has authority to use the U.S. military to protect American interests both at home and abroad. You know who used this? President Obama in 2011. He invoked it when he killed Osama bin Laden in 2011 in Pakistan. So the president is able to strike Iran based on the War Powers Resolution Act of 1973, the 2001 authorization for use of military in the U.S., and bizarrely enough, Article 51 of the UN Charter, which shows that we have an inherent right of individual or collective self-defense. So you don't have to agree or like the president's decision to conduct airstrikes in Iran, but to pretend that it's unconstitutional is simply divorced from reality. Send this to a liberal who needs to hear it.
Sums up, what,
There
2
you
minutes?
There you go. There you go. And then once again, John Fetterman coming out is, of course, the only Democrat who's like, can we not stop it and just celebrate something that's good for the Donald Trump did the world a favor with the best military in the world. You saw that one military jet evade that missile.
That was
hit.
AI. That was AI.
Oh, was it?
Yes.
Oh, it was. So how do we decipher what's real and what's not anymore?
I go by Ask Grok.
So you just hit that button and you say, "Is this real?"
Yes, and it said it was AI generated, and it looked like a video game, specifically said about a video game.
Isn't that it's? And Brock and I were complaining about this just yesterday. How, you'll send me a clip of something and then you'll be like, "Oh, don't look at that. That's from 3 years ago." People post things as though it's now, and you have to be like, so, "Oh wait, whoosh." You have to be so.
This is from 3 years ago.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pause that there and move on, folks. Let me share some information here with you from Pickaxe, and we'll go on from there, okay?
All right, guys, big announcement. Pickaxe is officially launched on iOS and Android February 24th. If you're tired of algorithmic manipulation, shadow banning, and platforms collecting your data while throttling your reach, this is for you. Pickaxe is built to be the most human-centered social media platform on the planet.
No algorithms deciding who sees your content. No data mining. We're making social media actually social again. And this is huge for the Rumble community. Your Rumble videos play directly inside the Pickaxe newsfeed just like native content. No redirects. No losing your audience. Seamless integration.
We've already got major voices on the platform like Diamond and Silk, The Vigilant Fox, Rampage Jackson, Dr. Mary Tally Bowden, Children's Health Defense, Shannon Joy, and many more. And the Rumble gaming community is showing up strong. The Joker, Uncle Pudge, Midnight in the Mountains, Vapin Gamers, Shovus Flexington, Soundboard Lord, CatDog, and a bunch more are making Pickaxe their home base.
This is about owning your audience instead of renting it.
Go to pickaxe.app today to pre-register for the app in the Google Play and Apple App Stores and be ready the moment we go live. You are the algorithm.
Okay, there we have it, folks. I did want to remind you here that I will be sharing this information from Wendy Bell. I'll continue with her video so you can get all of her great information, and also from Andrew Klavan. We'll take off where we left off. I got some other great information here. Got 22 videos here, about 12 hours worth of news and information that you're not going to get from the mainstream media. That's what this is all about. Okay, let me jump back over here and let me copy in these comments. There we go, and put them into a live chat so that they will be permanent with this video, because when the live stream ends, then the live chats just kind of disappear into hyperspace. Okay, let me clean it up a little bit and make it permanent. There we go. All right, folks. I do want to thank you very much for your time. Hopefully, I'll get to see you again later. Please join me back here. I'm going to get my live stream started as soon as possible. I don't want to hold that up because there's such great information in here. But again, thank you for your time. Hopefully, I'll get to see you again later. And may God bless.